Sanglere, ay tako sa inya na time, ang tap may na oro na alo may maduaan. May ito alahi na Radio Fijian, nando mo ibiti.
Tambol binaka, narango sela sa takau, au kati ko may botkola, au taka tingai tabua, ondo may buli-buli tina singile wango na makete, ondo talita kana barong na Radio Fijian, nando mo ibiti.
Yola binariki. Ayaw na ko keler mai, tapos mai na ko na lota mayakit may pa. Do talitangin niya na to may biti na tumong kan ni be yan.
Radio Fijian, nando mo ibiti.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Health Ministry confident with COVID-19 protocols. Resort retains all permanent staff. And low demand for high-end groceries.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Fiji's compulsory quarantine protocols and measures over the past months prove that our systems can support the safe repatriation of Fijians. Acting Permanent Secretary Dr. James Fong says this goes to show that Fiji does not turn its back on its own people. With 105 Fijians returning from India in quarantine and 162 soldiers being cleared today, authorities say their safety protocols are working. Kelly Vadala reports.
The Health Ministry is working with other arms of government to accommodate Fijians who want to return home during this crisis, but it will be done under strict conditions.
For as long as there are Fijians out there, I expect that we will continue to work at getting them back.
Dr. Fong says Fiji is regarded as a COVID-19 country.
The Fiji Health and Medical Services will continue to work closely with the Royal Fiji Military Forces and our border control teams at our ports of entry to ensure that our border control measures remain firm and the measures and processes for checking and clearance of quarantine individuals are working well.
Head of Health Protection Dr. Alicia Sahu Khan says they've been repatriating people since March and have also learned from experiences in other countries.
Almost 4,000 of our citizens who have passed through these facilities in this manner since the end of March. So this is not new to us. This is just the first time that any of them have tested positive.
Fiji yesterday recorded 5 more border quarantine cases, bringing our total active COVID-19 cases to 8. The 5 new cases, including the 3 existing border cases, are returning citizens who boarded the repatriation flight from India. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Consumer Council of Fiji has noticed a decline in the demand for certain food items as consumers become more frugal about their needs. Chief Executive Seema Shandel says high-end food products, which are non-essential, remain on supermarket shelves for longer. Kritika Kumar reports.
The pandemic has seen rising unemployment, which has changed the spending patterns of most Fijians.
This is because some people have lost jobs and some of them are working on reduced working hours, or they are earning less. So definitely people are just trying to meet their basic needs, and in terms of food they're just trying to purchase the essential food items so that, as I have said, just to put food on the table for the family.
According to Shandil, there is a general decline in the demand for the more expensive food items, which can be foregone when money is tight.
So what actually happens is, once these food items reach the expiry dates, instead of disposing these items, some of the traders, not all, what they do is they reduce the price and they try selling these products to the consumers.
The council says the sale of expiring food products is connected to low demand and is a concern for them.
This leaves the high-end food products on the shelf for long because there is no demand, and also these food items don't fall in the essential food list. And you must have also noticed that in Fiji there are certain food products, most of the food products, they have very short expiry date.
Seema Shandil has urged consumers to be vigilant as it continues to receive several complaints of the sale of expired products. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Shangri-La's Fijian Resort and Spa has been supporting more than 600 staff during this difficult period, with the tourism industry hit hard by the effects of COVID-19. General Manager Francis Lee says the resort has not laid off any permanent worker, as they understand the hardships families may be facing. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Basic food items have been provided to staff since May, indicating the resort's support to workers in the months ahead.
And on top of them, we give them $100 as a cash donations to each of them. And to our permanent staff, we're giving them the same, except for the money, because the permanent staff has jobs.
It doesn't end here, as 300 packs of school supplies were given to workers yesterday.
We have another 4 initiative program that we're giving out to those who have infants, newborn kids, and those who have going to school children. And there's another program for those who need medical assistance. Last but not least, those who need an ad hoc assistant.
Today was also the first weekend for the resort to introduce its Beats and Eats festivities to attract locals. For staff, the smiles just show how glad they are to be back welcoming guests.
Of course, they're happy every day when they are able to do what they do best. Not only stirring up the pots at home, so they can do it over here again.
The resort has more than 350 permanent staff and 300 casuals. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Numerous predictions are being made about the 2020-2021 national budget to be announced on the 17th of this month. Economist Dr. Rohit Kishore says this budget will be the key driver for economic recovery from the effects of COVID-19. Kritika Kumar reports.
Dr. Rohit Kishore believes money should be channeled to both businesses and government institutions to generate revenue and reduce unemployment.
Although we will be taking, borrowing, we'll see big and better. We see big and better countries around us borrowing largely. We are quite heavily borrowed, reaching almost 7 billion. I see we got no other hope, no other way perhaps. We have to probably borrow more.
According to The Economist, it may be advisable to reintroduce policies which have worked in the past.
I would like to see this budget go back to 18-19 budget, 2018-2019 budget, around about $4.6 billion budget, and perhaps more. We'll be borrowing, but like other countries, we have no choice.
Dr. Kishore says much of the expenditure has been covered through the COVID-19 response budget, including the partnership with the Fiji National Provident Fund.
Really take on that money from the budget and target it very, very well to the sectors where we're going to generate revenue. That's the key. Investment and revenue generation. It should not really go to the expenditure.
Permanent Secretary for Economy Makareta Konrote had earlier stated that the national budget will be focused on creating more economic activity. She highlighted that one of the important aspects of the budget is to create an enabling environment for the private sector to be able to lead economic recovery after COVID-19. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Up ahead, 39 arrests for curfew breaches and celebrating Bastille Day with a difference.
नाम लवेश नारायण है हम रेडियो पीजी 2 सुनता है रेडियो पीजी का इसके लड़का
जी हाँ मैं ताबुआ शहर से बोल रहा हूँ मेरा नाम शर्मा है बिहार में रेडियो पीजी 2 हमेशा सुनता हूँ जो रेडियो पीजी 2 देश का धड़कन।
मेरा नाम चंद्रा है मैं रकेती से बात करती हूँ आप के राम राम मुझे रेडियो पीजी 2 बहुत पसंद है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
39 people were arrested last night for breach of curfew. The Western Division recorded 16 arrests, including 8 people who were found drunk. Of the 8, 7 were found drunk inside a billiard shop in Lautoka, while a 25-year-old security guard was found drunk in Nandi. 2 people were arrested while on their way to buy kava along the Korvuto area in Nandi. 4 minivan drivers were arrested from the minivan stand in Lautoka. A 44-year-old man was found driving without a valid pass in Nandi, while a 24-year-old man was found loitering along the Tavua area. 10 cases were recorded in the Eastern Division, including a juvenile who was found with 3 others in Nausori town. 8 people were arrested in the Southern Division. In the Northern Division, 3 people arrested were all found drunk. Pacific Energy Limited has donated over $75,000 to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. The funds were collected from a campaign where 2 cents from every litre of fuel sold was directed to the relief fund. Pacific Energy says the donation is part of their nationwide campaign to raise funds for Fiji's COVID-19 response and to assist victims of Tropical Cyclone Harold. Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama says the funds will assist families affected by TC Harold and the global pandemic. Pacific Energy will continue its campaign over the next 2 months, aiming to raise about $250,000. Rain in Suva did little to dampen the spirits of hundreds of people who came out to mark Bastille Day with a difference. The French Embassy partnered with the Gold FM Rock Market and Thurston Garden to assist vendors who are facing difficulties due to the impact of COVID-19.
The French ambassador says in celebrating the National Day of France, they want to help family-run businesses.
To help those most in need, and especially small and medium businesses, and especially women. And that's what we've been trying to do.
Fito says they intended to reach out to the community and show solidarity with those who are trying to cope with financial hardships.
People are suffering from job losses, losses of income. This is not a year to celebrate in a normal way. We have to change. We have to reach out to the community.
Lily Marinda, a year 13 student, says it's her first time at the Gold FM Rock Market selling jewelry crafted by her grandmother.
I'm actually enjoying it because I actually meet a lot of people. This is the first time I'm actually doing this, so it's been going well.
Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama gave his good wishes for the Bastille Day and says France has a healthy relationship with Fiji. This, he says, was evident in their quick response to assist the aftermath of Tropical Cyclone Harold and their continued assistance towards fighting COVID-19. Apinis Wangardovu, FBC News.
The World Health Organization has set up an independent review into its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. It has named former New Zealand Prime Minister Helen Clark as the head of the review. Up ahead in sports, Men in Black returns in style. And women's ruggers to get more support. This and more coming up.
Hola, my name is Charlotte. I'm from Navintamu. We love listening to the FM.
My name is Koto. I'm from Nagaranga. I love Today FM because of latest hit music and Today FM rocks.
My name is Sulweti. I'm from Nagaranga. Today FM rocks.
Senior players Saula Wanga, Abu Zahid and Samuel Ndrundru guided Ba to a 5-3 win in their Vodafone Premier League match against Navua this afternoon. Wanga and Zahid scored a double each, while Ndrundru added another for the Men in Black.
Comes in and a easy goal from Ba. A bit slow, Abu Zahid, he seals it in the way. Abu finding Saula Wanga. Saula turns and Saula drives and Raju. Mosisi, his cross, again not a good one and falling through, Vinit and a penalty. Vinit Chand with a chance and Vinit Chand has pulled one back. Here's Ba again, come back. Abu Zaid trying it from further out, a good one again. And Abu Zaid has and Ba again, Saula Wanga with a chance. That's again a simple goal, followed through the Navua defense and Saula Wanga breaking through the defense. Munix. And this time, Apisai Smith, that's what I said, that they needed Apisai Smith. And you've seen as Sola Wanga now gets another chance, playing it back squares in again. Sanela Wanga needs Abu Zaid, and Abu Zaid simply plays it, looking to play with Alfred Ali, works his way into the box, and he gets pushed out of the way in there. Apisai Smith now with a chance, and he pulls one back, it's 5-3.
The Fiji Rugby Union will make sure the women get more competition in the country as the Rugby World Cup is next year. This comes after the first FRU Women's Academy was launched this week. Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor says they will see to it that our women get more game time this season, whether it be Skipper Cup or Sevens. O'Connor says the Fijiana can be a force to reckon with at the World Cup in New Zealand if they get the much-needed support.
The board and I firmly believe that if we create these pathways for our girls and women that and provide the necessary support as we do to the men's team, and I know with the high performance of the women's maturing, they could be the team that wins us our first World Cup.
Fiji-born Filippo Ndaungunu scored for the Queensland Reds in their Super Rugby AU clash with the Rebels last night, but it was not enough to secure the win as the match ended in an 18-all draw. Weightlifting Fiji is now finalising plans to hold club competitions for the remainder of the 2020 season. Having received accreditation from the Sports Commission yesterday, they can now commence training and tournaments. As Tale Matarikola reports, first on the list is the upcoming online competition organised by the Oceania Weightlifting Federation.
Getting straight into the game, Weightlifting Fiji will commence its club competitions.
Right now, we will be just looking at competition within the centres, and they will send in results.
This will be a build-up to the Oceania Weightlifting Championship, and the top 14 lifters will be selected for the event.
We will select from the centres, we will select the best 7 male and 7 female. If the bubble opens, we have the Oceania, which is a goal event for the Olympics next year.
With a number of local competitions set to commence, sporting bodies are urged to work together in ensuring the safety of everyone involved.
We want to go back there to play sports. We've got to do our part. Agree or disagree? Because, I mean, for so many months, no activities. But if you're saying that, okay, there will be this crowd, it's going to break the rules, or they have not complied, it's your job. Okay? Our job is to make sure that we send a straight message to them that you have to, because we work so hard to do this.
These online competitions will be held in Navua, Suva and Levuka, and results will be sent to the Oceania Weightlifting Federation. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
6 teams started the first ever Cricket Fiji T10 Women's Bulla Bash League today at the Bedesi ground in Suva. The teams have been preparing in the last couple of weeks, and Cricket Fiji Chief Executive Alex Kondrote says it's been so heartwarming to see so many new players. Kondrote says many young talents were on show today, and they are pleased that even a team came all the way from Nandi. The 6 teams includes Mothe Harold, Island Sinas, Serua Diamonds, Onoilau Sixers, Nandi Jet Setters and Northland.
We've had it planned for a while. It was supposed to happen in December last year, but that got postponed because of measles, and then everything's been happening up till now. But to get it off the ground, we didn't expect this many teams. We were looking at about 4 down this side, but we've got 6, and we're happy that Nandi decided to join as well.
The Warriors couldn't protect an early lead against the Gold Coast Titans, going down 16-12 in the NRL last night. The loss also means the Warriors are still searching for back-to-back wins. In another NRL match last night, the Rabbitohs defeated West Tigers 18-10. And don't forget, you can watch the Storm and Raiders match live at 9:35 tonight on FBC Sports. A quick look at the weather. A high-pressure system to the far southwest of the group continues to direct a fresh to strong southeast wind flow over the Fiji group. Cloudy periods with brief showers were experienced over the eastern and interior parts of the larger islands, fine elsewhere. Taking a look at the weather map, in the west, cloudy conditions prevailed in most places. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, brief showers were experienced through the day. And up north, more showers. At sea, a strong wind warning remains in force for Fiji waters. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas, moderate southeast swells. Turning to the tides, high tide is at 11:30 tonight, with low tide at 5:37 a.m. tomorrow. Sunrise is at 6:38. Now for tomorrow, cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Fine elsewhere, cool at night. Tomorrow's temperatures will range between 29 and 30 degrees. And our further outlook, it's cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, mainly fine elsewhere, cool at night. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Health Ministry says its COVID-19 protocols are working. Low demand for high-end groceries, and Fijian resort retains all permanent staff in light of pandemic. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: should the COVID-19 curfew be kept until the end of the year? Visit our FBC website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News, and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Bye for now.
Na vango la tila tarelau au daptu mana korbatur on tawaran na kino ele na santa konrobe totale takana warang wale na Bula FM ira kina serap kena putak vaka do matagreden
Bula na hako derstia au wakiti ko toka au tali takana warang na Bula FM na banduan serre
solo minang ya tawasan betapuan to warang na Bula FM na banduan serre
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.